Welcome back to the second part of our epic South of the Circle itinerary. In the first video, we explored some of the most stunning spots on this frozen continent, and today, we're diving even deeper into the untouched beauty of Antarctica. From towering glaciers to incredible wildlife encounters, this journey just keeps getting better. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our adventures, and be sure to check out our other Antarctica videos to catch up on all the action. Let's get back to the ice.
As we continued our way north along the peninsula, we had a full day of just scenic cruising and no Zodiac landings. This was probably a good thing, since we enjoyed a few beers in the hot tub and after dinner the night before. We sailed through Crystal Sound, Grand Didier Channel and the Le Maire Channel. The waters were clear and calm, with icebergs floating by, mountains in the distance, and the views were absolutely stunning. These areas are so quiet, remote, and totally untouched. The Le Maire Channel is nicknamed Kodak Gap, as it is one of the most photogenic spots in Antarctica, with ice cliffs on either side.
Cooverville Island is home to one of the biggest Gentoo penguin colonies in Antarctica. A Gentoo penguin colony is an all-out sensory experience. With around 6,500 mated pairs packed into one spot, the noise is non-stop. These little chatterboxes are constantly squawking, calling to their mates, and sometimes even arguing over the best nesting spots. And then there's the smell. Thousands of penguins create a lot of guano. Despite the chaos, watching them waddle around and steal pebbles is worth it. That afternoon, we anchored in Orne Harbor and were made aware that the chin-strap penguin colony there was atop a relatively steep hike. Andrew made the climb and went to see the chin-straps. After making the trek to the top, he was greeted by adults and babies perched on the ridge. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to physically handle the climb, so I opted to go on a Zodiac cruise. During our cruise, we ended up seeing a few chin straps as well. Later, we spotted a humpback whale snoozing at the surface, and then we even saw a seal napping on an iceberg. What are we about to do?
We're about to plunge into the Antarctic ice.
Into the water.
Into the water, yes.
It'd be a little painful.
It'd be a little bit, but it is below zero, I believe.
It is.
Because of the salinity of the water, it's still water, but it's not solid. But it'll be cold.
It'll be very cold.
Briefly.
One thing we had been hoping and waiting to do throughout the entire trip was the polar plunge. The crew and the staff of the Ocean Explorer made this a fun but safe party, and almost half of our ship's passengers took the plunge that day. We ended the plunge with a shot of vodka and received our polar plunge badge. Ready?
I suppose. Yes! No!
The water temperature was about 2 degrees Celsius that day, and while it was a huge shock to the system, we wouldn't have missed this Antarctic experience.
We just finished the solar plunge and now we're warming up in the sauna.
In the sauna. And this is the view out of the sauna window. This is the sauna. How cool is that?
Very warm.
That evening, after a warm shower, we joined our fellow passengers for an outdoor barbecue put on by the restaurant staff. Following that, we went inside to enjoy some games. The expedition staff of the Ocean Explorer had so much energy. From Antarctic Feud to Boogie Bingo, we were constantly entertained in the evenings.
Cheers. Brilliant. There we go. Wow.
Our morning in Dupere Bay ended up being one of the most magical nature experiences ever. We spent the morning with a pod of more than 15 humpback whales, watching them from our zodiacs. We've been whale watching many times, but this encounter was unmatched. Our last day in Antarctica was spent on Deception Island, part of the South Shetland Islands. We anchored inside the caldera of an active volcano, which hasn't erupted since 1970. We sailed into the flooded crater through Neptune's Bellows, which is about 230 meters wide. But it's tricky to navigate as there is a rock that lies 2.5 meters below the surface in the middle of the channel.
Today we're going to climb active volcano. The ground, terrain seems to be exclusively this kind of volcanic sand. It's going to be an interesting hike. Let's see how we get on. Wow. How about that? This is maybe where the eruption occurred in the 60s. And we're going up there, just for fun. And here we are a little higher up. Remarkable to be able to do this. It's a great privilege. Whew. A tiring privilege, but a privilege nonetheless.
But you can see there is a variety of different rocks here. So this is just a normal basalt, but volcanoes aren't just basalt. There's this vesicular basalt with the holes in it that would have formed, when there was water and air mixed in, bubbles. Then you got some iron-rich basalt.
While Andrew was climbing to the volcano ridge, I took another zodiac ride in Telephone Bay, where I spotted some more wildlife. I even saw my first brittle star, a close relative to the starfish. The steam rising from the black sand is a result of the geothermal activity within this island caldera. We got out of the zodiacs, stood on the beach, and put our hands in the water. It felt like a hot bathtub.
In the afternoon, we landed at Whalers Bay, where we saw artifacts and structural remains from the early whaling industry, such as rusting boilers and tanks. As well, we saw an old British scientific station, Biscoe House, with the middle torn out by mudflows as a result of the 1969 eruption.
Forget that you are in a flooded caldera.
You're in a flooded caldera.
I'm in a flooded caldera of an active volcano, and it last went off in 1970. Apparently it goes off every 30 years, so we're overdue for an eruption. But if I'm going to die, sitting in a hot tub with a beer in Antarctica is not a bad way to go. And cut.
That wraps up our incredible journey through Antarctica. From breathtaking landscapes and unforgettable wildlife encounters to the ultimate adrenaline rush of the polar plunge, this adventure has been nothing short of spectacular. If you've enjoyed exploring the White Continent with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos in this series. Until next time, keep chasing adventure.